Queen Elizabeth II wore the same engagement ring throughout her entire reign for 75 years, from 1947 until her death in 2022. It was perhaps her most intimate piece of jewelry, a daily reminder of the love story that defined her life. But here's what most people don't know. The diamonds in that ring were torn from a tiara that once belonged to a Greek princess who spent years in an asylum. A tiara given to her by the last Tsar of Russia. A tiara she smuggled out during a revolution, hid in a Paris bank vault for decades, and then dismantled stone by stone, so her penniless son could propose to a future queen. That's the thing about royal jewels. We see them glittering at state banquets and weddings, but we rarely hear about the hands that held them during exile, the mothers who sacrificed them, the daughters who inherited not just diamonds but entire lifetimes of love, loss, and survival. Today, I'm taking you behind the vault doors to explore 7 extraordinary jewels that didn't just adorn Europe's royal families. They bound them together across borders, through wars, and into each other's hearts. These aren't just pretty things. They're bridges built from gemstones, promises made in platinum, and each one changed the fate of the women who wore them. Let's begin with a tiara that traveled from Imperial Russia to a London jeweler's workshop and became the most intimate symbol of one of history's greatest love stories. Princess Alice of Battenberg's aquamarine tiara. Picture this: October 1903, Darmstadt, Germany. Princess Alice of Battenberg, Queen Victoria's great-granddaughter, marries Prince Andrew of Greece. Among the wedding gifts arriving from across Europe, one stands out for its sheer magnificence. Tsar Nicholas II and Tsarina Alexandra Feodorovna, Alice's uncle and aunt, send a complete aquamarine and diamond parure. The tiara alone is breathtaking, large oval aquamarines set atop a neoclassical diamond frame, likely crafted by Fabergé himself. There's a matching necklace, earrings, bracelet, and brooch. It's the kind of gift that announces, you are family, you are loved, you are protected by the might of Imperial Russia. For nearly 2 decades, Alice wears these pale blue gems in Athens, posing for portraits as a young Greek princess building her life. But then everything falls apart. In 1921, political turmoil forces the Greek royal family into exile. Alice manages to save one thing, her jewel casket. She deposits it in a bank vault in Paris and walks away, not knowing when or if she'll ever see those treasures again. What follows are the hardest years of her life. Separation from her children, time spent in a sanatorium, the world around her collapsing into war. For 26 years, that aquamarine tiara sits in darkness. Then comes 1947. Alice finally reclaims her jewels, and the timing couldn't be more perfect. Her son Philip is in love with Princess Elizabeth, heir to the British throne. He wants to marry her. But Philip is a prince without a kingdom, without money, and post-war Britain is watching every penny spent by the royal family. How can he possibly afford a ring worthy of a future queen? This is where a mother's love transforms everything. Alice takes that tiara, the one given to her by the Tsar and Tsarina, the one she protected through revolution and exile, and she has it dismantled. In June 1947, she quietly visits Philip Antrobus, a London jeweller carrying diamonds from her aquamarine tiara. Those stones become Elizabeth's engagement ring, a 3-carat solitaire flanked by 10 pavé diamonds set in platinum. Philip also uses more diamonds from his mother's tiara to create an Art Deco bracelet, which he gives Elizabeth on their wedding day that November. Think about what Alice gave up. That tiara was her connection to the lost world of Imperial Russia, to her aunt the Tsarina, who would be murdered with her family. It was proof that she had once been a princess who mattered, who was cherished. And she took it apart, willingly, lovingly, so her son could offer his heart to the woman he loved. In one of his letters during this time, Philip wrote about being spared in war and to have fallen in love completely and unreservedly. He said it made all other troubles seem small and petty. That ring on Elizabeth's finger wasn't just jewelry, it was his mother's blessing, her sacrifice, her way of saying, "This is what matters. Love matters." For 75 years, Queen Elizabeth II wore that ring every single day, from a young bride to a great-grandmother, from coronation to jubilee. The aquamarine tiara that once graced a Greek princess became the most personal treasure of a British queen, a bridge from the Romanovs to the Windsors, built by a mother's devotion. The tiara with the Prussian diamonds. Now, some jewels don't just connect two families. Some connect 5 royal houses across a century and a half, passing from mother to daughter to granddaughter, crossing borders from Prussia to Baden to Sweden to Denmark to Greece, and somehow, miraculously, they're still being worn today. Let me tell you about the Prussian diamonds. It starts in the 1850s with Princess Louise of Prussia, daughter of Emperor Wilhelm I of Germany. When she marries Grand Duke Frederick I of Baden in 1856, her dowry includes a magnificent diamond stomacher, a large ornament worn on the bodice, decorated with 27 pearls and 6 pear-shaped pearl pendants. There's even a story that this piece was originally commissioned by Frederick the Great himself and had adorned 6 Prussian queens. Whether that's entirely true or slightly embellished by time, what matters is this: these diamonds carried the weight of Prussian imperial history. Louise's daughter, Princess Victoria of Baden, marries King Gustav II of Sweden in 1881, bringing her mother's jewels north. When Louise dies in 1923, Victoria inherits the stomacher. But here's where it gets interesting. Victoria bequeaths it to a foundation, but in 1935, her widower, King Gustav V, takes it back and gives it to his granddaughter, Princess Ingrid of Sweden, as a wedding gift when she marries Crown Prince Frederick of Denmark. The Prussian diamonds have now travelled to their 4th country, and they're about to make their most dramatic transformation. By the early 1960s, Queen Ingrid of Denmark has 3 daughters and a problem. Her youngest, Princess Anne-Marie, is engaged to King Constantine II of Greece at just 17 years old. The wedding is set for 1964, right after Anne-Marie's 18th birthday. The girl needs a tiara, and Ingrid, looking at that old Prussian stomacher, sees an opportunity. She has the corsage dismantled and transformed into a modern bandeau tiara with floral and scroll motifs, featuring those historic diamonds and pearls. The matching pieces, earrings and brooch, become a complete suite. In September 1964, Anne-Marie wears this newly created tiara at her farewell dinner in Denmark, and again at her wedding in Athens. A piece that began as a Prussian dowry in the 1850s now crowns a Greek queen. But the story doesn't end there. Anne-Marie does something extraordinary with this tiara. She makes it the family wedding crown. The tiara continued to shine in royal ceremonies. In 2010, Tatiana Blatnik wore it to marry Prince Nikolaos. In 2020, Nina Flor wore it to marry Prince Philippos. 2 generations of Greek royal brides crowned with the same Prussian diamonds that once adorned an emperor's daughter. But even before these weddings, the tiara had established itself as a family treasure. Anne-Marie ensured that her daughters, Princess Alexia and Princess Theodora, would wear it at major Danish royal events throughout their lives, honouring the cross-border legacy of this extraordinary jewel. The Prussian diamond tiara. Let's stay in Prussia for a moment, because there's another tiara with an equally remarkable journey, one that started as a father's gift of reconciliation and ended up on the head of a Spanish queen. May 1913. Kaiser Wilhelm II's only daughter, Princess Victoria Luisa marries Prince Ernst August of Hanover. This wedding is politically significant. It unites the Prussian Hohenzollerns with the Hanoverian dynasty that Prussia had defeated and deposed decades earlier. It's being called a real-life Romeo and Juliet story, except with a happy ending. The Kaiser, at the peak of his power just before World War I would destroy everything, commissions the court jeweler Koch to create a diamond tiara for his daughter. It features classical laurel wreaths and Greek key motifs, elegant, refined, perfectly suited to a princess who would link German and British royal bloodlines. Victoria Luisa wears it occasionally, though she prefers a grander tiara from her husband's family. But in 1938, when her only daughter, Princess Frederica, marries Crown Prince Paul of Greece, Victoria Louise gives her the tiara. Those Greek key motifs suddenly seem prophetic. This German tiara was meant for a Greek princess. As Queen Frederica of Greece in the 1940s and 50s, she has access to grander jewels, so she allows her young daughter Sophia to wear it at state events in the mid-1950s. And then, in 1962, when Princess Sophia marries Prince Juan Carlos of Spain, Frederica presents the tiara to her daughter as a wedding gift. Now it's in Spain. Queen Sophia wears it throughout the 1960s and 70s, and then, continuing the tradition, she lends it to her daughters, Infantas Elena and Cristina. Most memoriously, in May 2004, Sophia places this tiara on the head of her new daughter-in-law, Letizia Ortiz, on Letizia's wedding day to the future King Felipe VI. Imagine that moment. A commoner journalist from Spain marrying into one of Europe's oldest monarchies, wearing a tiara that once belonged to the Kaiser's daughter. A tiara that had travelled from Berlin to Athens to Madrid, carried by women who understood what it meant to be a bridge between worlds. Today, Queen Letizia still wears it at state dinners, small in scale but immense in history. From a German emperor's gift of reconciliation to a Spanish queen's crown, spanning a century, 4 countries, and countless moments of love passed from mother to daughter. Princess Alexandra's wedding gift tiara, March 1863. A Danish princess with almost no jewels of her own marries the Prince of Wales, heir to the British throne. Queen Victoria herself notes that Alexandra came from a small country and lacked jewels. So the Prince of Wales, known as Bertie, does something extraordinary. He commissions Garrard to create a complete diamond and pearl parure as his wedding gift to Alexandra. The centerpiece is a tiara featuring scroll ornaments with large drop-shaped diamonds connected by Greek key motifs. The design even incorporates elements resembling the Prince of Wales's feathers, a symbol of her new identity. Alexandra doesn't wear it at the wedding itself. The family is still in mourning for Prince Albert. But once she becomes Princess of Wales, this tiara becomes her signature piece for 25 years. She wears it to her brother-in-law's wedding in St. Petersburg in 1874, where Russian court observers catalogue every diamond. She wears it at London society balls, at state receptions, in portraits with her sister, the Tsarevna of Russia. This tiara transforms her from a jewel-poor Danish princess into one of Europe's most elegant royal ladies. It's a gift that says, "You belong here. You are worthy. You are loved." Alexandra keeps it until her death in 1925, when it passes to her eldest daughter, Princess Victoria. And then, it vanishes. Victoria, who never married, likely sold it in her later years. No intact part of it has surfaced since the 1930s. The gemstones were probably removed and dispersed. But the story remains. A prince ensuring his bride would shine. A princess embracing her new role with a gift that made her feel at home in a foreign land. Sometimes the most powerful jewels are the ones that exist now only in memory and faded photographs. The Congo Diamond Necklace Tiara, April 1953. Princess Josephine Charlotte of Belgium marries hereditary Grand Duke Jean of Luxembourg. Among her wedding gifts is a transformable diamond necklace tiara from Van Cleef and Arpels, given either by her father King Leopold III or officially from the people of the Belgian Congo. These are diamonds mined in Africa from Belgium's colonial possession, forged into a jewel for a European princess. Josephine Charlotte wears it as her bridal tiara, securing her veil with these diamonds on her wedding day. Weeks later, she wears it as a necklace to Queen Elizabeth II's coronation in London. It becomes one of her favourite pieces, versatile, elegant, meaningful. But the most beautiful part of this story is what she does with it. She makes it the family bridal tiara. In 1981, her daughter-in-law, Maria Theresa, wears it at her wedding. In 1982, both of Josephine Charlotte's daughters, Princess Marie Astrid and Princess Margareta, wear it at their weddings, just weeks apart. 3 brides in barely over a year, all crowned with the same diamonds. It's a mother's way of saying, this is our tradition, this is how we welcome you, this is love made visible. After Josephine Charlotte's death in 2005, there was talk of auctioning her jewels, including this tiara. Public outcry in Belgium stopped it. People remembered it was a gift from their Congo to their princess. Today, it remains with the Luxembourg family, safely kept for perhaps another generation of brides. The Russian Sapphire Tiara, April 1898. Tsar Nicholas II and Empress Alexandra Feodorovna attend a wedding in Germany. Princess Alexandrine of Mecklenburg-Schwerin marrying Prince Christian of Denmark. As a gift, the Tsar and Tsarina present the 18-year-old bride with a magnificent sapphire and diamond tiara from C.E. Bollin of St. Petersburg. 8 oval Ceylon sapphires surrounded by diamonds in a wave motif. It's a gift between cousins, between the Russian and Danish royal families who are deeply intertwined. But here's the curious thing. Queen Alexandrine of Denmark is never photographed wearing it as a tiara. She wears the sapphire clusters as pendants and brooches instead, keeping them close but not on her head. In 1933, she gives it to her daughter-in-law, Princess Caroline Matilda, who does wear it as a tiara, at King Christian IX's Silver Jubilee in 1937, at royal weddings, at state events. Caroline Matilda loves it, even has it altered to a more modern design. Her son, Count Ingolf, later remembers watching his mother wear the Russian piece with sapphires and diamonds, both as a necklace and a bandeau. After Caroline Matilda's death in 1995, it passes to her son, Count Christian, who gives it to his wife and daughter for her 50th birthday with a note, "This has been your mother-in-law's and before that, her mother-in-law's." Anne daughter wears it proudly at Danish royal events through the 2000s. In 2018, after both Christian and Anne daughter had passed away, their 3 daughters made the difficult decision to sell it at auction. It fetched 2 million Danish kroner. But there's a happy ending. The new owner has loaned it to the Amalienborg Palace Museum in Copenhagen, where visitors can see it and learn its story. From the Romanovs to a museum, a gift of imperial Russia now belongs in a way to everyone. The Emperor of Austria Brooch. Finally, let's talk about a christening gift that became a symbol of determination and family loyalty. In 1870, Emperor Franz Joseph I of Austria agrees to be godfather to a newborn British royal baby, Prince Francis of Teck, son of Princess Mary Adelaide of Cambridge. Unable to attend the christening in person, the emperor sends a magnificent gift through the Austrian ambassador, a large diamond and pearl brooch from the imperial jeweler Kuschert. It features a plaited circle with a pearl center, surrounded by 12 diamonds, suspending 3 Baroque pearl drops. Baby Francis obviously can't wear it, so his mother Mary Adelaide does, proudly displaying the emperor's favor. When she dies in 1897, it passes to Francis. And when Francis dies in 1910, he leaves it to his mistress, Lady Kilmorey, much to his royal family's dismay. Enter Queen Mary, Francis's sister, and one of the most determined jewellery collectors in royal history. She quietly negotiates to buy back the brooch from Lady Kilmorey, ensuring it stays in the family. It passes to Queen Elizabeth II in 1953. The Queen wore it in 1964 in photographs holding infant Prince Edward, fitting for a christening gift. In 2011, she wore it to the state banquet for President Obama. And in 2023, Queen Camilla wore it publicly for the first time in decades. A gift from an emperor to a godchild, rescued by a determined sister, worn by queens across a century and a half. It's a small piece, but it carries enormous weight. 7 jewels, 7 stories of love, sacrifice, and survival. From a mother who dismantled her tiara so her son could propose, to a grandmother who transformed an old stomacher into a modern crown for her daughter, to sisters and daughters who fought to keep these treasures in the family where they belonged. These jewels didn't just adorn Europe's royal families, they bound them together through the hardest moments of the 20th century, through revolutions and exiles, through wars and losses, through the quiet, everyday acts of mothers loving their children and women honoring the women who came before them. The next time you see a tiara glittering at a state banquet, remember, there's a story behind those stones, a human story, and it's probably more extraordinary than you ever imagined. What do you think? Which of these jewels moved you most? Let me know in the comments below. And if you loved discovering these hidden stories, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. There are so many more treasures waiting to be uncovered. Thank you for watching.